All right. Okay. Just getting my screens up again. All right. Studio mode. Transition. All right, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live stream from West Australia. Not just Perth, not just Perth Observatory, but we're all over the place here in West Australia. My name is Matt, and I'm your host tonight. And I'm in Perth Observatory in Bickley. And tonight I got to, again, the man, the myth, the legend has come back for the live stream. Roger Groom, who's a Perth Observatory volunteer.
You're talking about Ken there.
Has finally come back after having a couple of streams off because he had other events outside of Perth Observatory, and then I stuck I think a workshop on a night that that we were going to be doing a live stream. But
yeah, I thought that was just your way of telling me you had someone better, Matt.
Yeah, right. Riley's getting up there. He's so we'll have to talk about to negotiate your fee for appearing on these ones on these live streams. But he was supposed to make his debut back on the Astrofest live stream, and then I think Cloud ruined that night for him. No, it was wind. It was 40 km/h wind. Yes, but making his debut tonight, another man, another legend, another myth, and another legend, Ken Lawson in Geraldton. Welcome to the live stream. Very well. Now,
well, we would be better if it was perfectly clear outside, actually. That would make us all a lot happier.
Yes, after such a good run of clear nights, after, was it, I think, 5 nights of cloud at the very beginning of doing these live streams, our luck's run out all along the, not only at Perth Observatory, out in the central wheat belt, and also in Geraldton as well. So, but we've got some groupies here who have turned up. We've got Belly. Hey, Belly. Got any soup? Hey, how you doing? Matt Corkin. Hello, how you doing? And anyone else out there, welcome as well. And if you want to ask any questions while we do the live stream, there is the description down in the description down below of this video on YouTube. There is the link to our Discord channel, and we'll be taking your questions throughout the night. Even the really stupid questions, we'll answer them, or we'll try to answer them.
I'll leave those ones to you, Matt.
Yep. I wonder if Michelle or my sister are on. And Ron Cox has said, "Greeting, Earthlings. Greetings back." And but yeah, if this is your first time and you're wondering what the hell have you got yourself into, well, firstly, welcome. And what you've got yourself into is, normally we have cameras, they're connected to telescopes, and we show you some cool stuff. But because of the cloud, we've prepared these earlier. So what we, but you don't get steak knives if you pay by credit card at the moment. So, but thank you for joining us. If you like what we do, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to our channel. We're hoping to be able to turn this into a money source, and not only can we can make these more respectable, as you could say, but also so we can provide some more income for the observatory here at Perth, because it's coming up to 125 years, and the old girl's looking pretty good, but it's cost a lot to keep her up and running. So tonight we're going to show you some cool stuff, like some galaxies. So we're going to go through and look at the mercurial chain. We're going to look at the Sombrero galaxy, also the blow dryer galaxy as well. And then Ken is going to do some live processing of some images that he took you all might have heard or might have actually seen the cyclone go through Kalbarri and Geraldton. Well, Ken, being the avid astrophotographer, went out and took a whole heap of snaps of Geraldton at this once-in-a-lifetime period of Geraldton with no power, and it's pretty awesome. All right, let's get started for the night, and that's a lovely photo, Ken, you've got there. All right, so do you want to start off? Ken, do you want to show the mercurial chain? Chain, yep.
I keep hearing.
Nice. Instead of wind. Yeah. Because we're looking into the Virgo supercluster, aren't we? Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Do you prefer this sort of cluster of galaxies, or do you reckon Fornax cluster at the other side of the year? Which one's your favourite? Yeah, fair enough. I like Fornax because it's more southern, and I feel like we have more ownership over the southern skies.
Yeah. And for those of people out there going, what the hell is the Virgo supercluster? Well, it's located about 65 million light years away from Earth. It's about 110 million light years in diameter, so a light year is 9.5 trillion kilometers, and it contains about 100 galaxies, and it's the closest supercluster of galaxies to the Earth as well. I actually did do the numbers on how long it would take Daniel Ricciardo to get there in a Formula One car, taking out the fact that obviously he'd need air to breathe, food, time to sleep and go to the toilet, and the car would need road, fuel. I didn't work out how many times his engine would blow, but thousands. We've got hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, 219, just over 219 trillion years it would take Daniel Ricciardo to get to the Virgo supercluster at where it is at this point. So yeah, so
that's a few.
Yeah, I do a whole I've got a presentation for kids where I go through and show them objects we show on a night sky tour, and then tell them how long it would take Daniel Ricciardo to get there, and then the numbers get stupendous, and at the very end it's like, what do we learn? Well, space is big, and I mean really, really big, and that maybe a Formula One car isn't the best way to travel the universe. So.
The thing which I like about this area of the night sky, these galaxies, is, galaxies are my favourite objects to photograph and look at in telescopes, given the time. It takes a bit of time. But the fact that these galaxies are all close enough that they're large enough in the field of view of a camera or an eyepiece to actually get reasonable detail. makes them nice for amateur astronomy. To it's not just a tiny little smudgy dot which you see or you photograph. You actually get some decent detail. Ken's showing some good detail there at the moment. You've got fantastic detail in those. Actually, I didn't realize when you could zoom in that far on your shot, Ken. That's great.
I think that's stellarium, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah. You guys are tipping me.
Yes.
Wow, you got your shot into stellarium, Ken. Wow.
Oh, actually, hang on.
No.
Actually, for those, I don't know if people can actually hear Ken. Sorry, I will. That's my fault. Sorry, Ken. I know. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah, hang on. There's. Hang on. Hang on. There you go.
I wonder.
Okay, talk, Ken. No, not just yet. Oh no.
I wonder if they can hear me or Matt.
There's. Hang on. Sorry. Let's have a look here. Hang on. Oh, boy,
we're just going to wait for Matt to click a few buttons and magically get us some voice. Although, can they hear me, Matt?
Pardon? They can hear you. Yeah, actually, yeah. They can hear you. Ken. Oh, now we can. Yep. Sorry. All right, people.
All right. Test 1 2.
Yep, that's it. So, damn it. Hey, I got everything else right, but unfortunately, yeah, that was. Yeah. No worries. Well, introducing Ken's voice now. So I think Roger, yeah. So Roger, you asked whether I think the last question you asked Ken was whether they could actually whether he liked this type of cluster, or if he preferred the.
I was talking about. Yeah, I was talking about Fornax versus this cluster, and Ken was saying. I think Ken, you were saying whatever's up is your target.
Exactly, whatever's up in the sky, I like that one.
Now, Ken, looking at your shot there, what exposure details did you do for that? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it's down the bottom there. It's a bit hard to see, but it's all the details are down the bottom there. So when I do my live streams, I have all the information down there, so when people can see it, they can see what I'm actually imaging with, and it actually has a counter and shows the images. So this is 3 90 seconds stacked.
Okay, that's not much detail, not much exposure time at all, is it?
No, so I'm using an 8-inch Newtonian around f3 to f5 on Uki 6 Pro with the Ultrastar color, which is a guide camera, which is quite sensitive. It's only a really small chip, but it picks up quite a bit of detail. So yeah, 3 90-second images stacked and just mean stacking, and it comes out quite well. And this is in suburbia, by the way. So, there's street lights, neighbors with their lights on and stuff.
Yeah, that's really good. That is really good detail for such short exposure. It is incredible what we can get these days. I suppose in that situation, your Newtonian's fast focal ratio is really helping you.
Correct. Yeah. So it's around f5, and then I've got a focal reducer on it, dropping it around f3 to f5, depending on what reducer I put on there.
Nice.
So average is around f5.
Nice. Do you find you have to auto guide for that?
Yep. Definitely have PhD going on because it helps to stack the images. Otherwise, the cancellation software will, the rejection software will kick out the frames if they're not aligned enough to stack them, and you get nasty oblong stars.
Okay. Yeah, looks good.
So, got any soup said, I was hoping to find some planets tonight, but the cloud have been a bit of a pain. Yeah, that's why we call clouds our mortal enemy, because whenever we want to do something, or we buy, more importantly, when we buy new equipment and it finally gets delivered, you'll get cloud for at least 2 weeks as well. So,
Yep. Any
That's,
astronomical equipment comes with complementary clouds.
Yep. Anytime someone puts on an astronomical Facebook group page, hey, I got this new equipment. It's like, well, there you go. You're gonna give us 2 weeks of cloud. So thank you very much. So, but Magic Mike also says hello, everyone. So hello, Magic Mike. So
and Matt, I see in the YouTube chat there, JVS to Uber has said that I went to the Perth Observatory for an excursion. Yeah, it's funny how many people we get like that on our night sky tours that we host, isn't it, Matt? That came to the Perth Observatory as a kid and haven't been back for 20 years.
We had my grandparents back, I think it must have been like 93, 94, had come to the observatory and bought all these pictures of planets, and they all came with fact sheets, and I still have them. They're actually up in my study, and when I was cleaning out, I think it was actually, I was cleaning out my office when I first became tour administrator, and there's all these still in their original cases, all these images with the fact sheets, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it, it's still here. So yeah. What's cool with a little bit of information about this is that it was actually Charles Messier discovered at least the first two of these galaxies. So he discovered M84 and then M86, but it wasn't until William Herschel came along, and he was the one that was able to find other ones like M84. M84? All these other ones in here, and then Louise Emil Dreyer ended up putting all the ones that's John Herschel or William Herschel had found with the ones that John Herschel had found, and put them together in the New General Catalogue, which was published back in 1888. So,
Matt, I was just wondering, Matt, are you going to do the Stellarium thing to show where? Is Ken showing where the chain of galaxies is?
Yeah.
Thinking that we should actually show people where these are in the night sky.
Yep.
So I've got it light up here. So.
Yep.
Or the Virgo supercluster, the Macaron chain is smack bang in the middle of it, and it's just over where Virgo is, right here.
Yeah.
And Virgo obviously is just to the left of the galactic core.
So you've got the left being to the north.
Yep. Yes. So you got the Milky Way sitting right here. It's just rising right now, and then to the northeast, you've got Virgo and the Macaron chain.
Can it's not so obvious on your chart there? Maybe just point out with your mouse where the horizon is there, so that people know how high it is.
It's okay. I'm showing my my stellarium with the artwork for the constellations. So it's just in where we're looking is just in the reed in the left hand of Virgo. So right in there. So you've got all these pretty galaxies right there. So and it's quite close to Leo, where you've got the Leo triplet as well. So there's some lovely nebulas all in that area right there. So yeah, I'll just put it back to Ken's screen. There's it's definitely one to put on your calendar to take some photos of in the night sky.
Or even look with a telescope.
Yeah, especially if you go out into the country, you'd be able to see these easily.
Seeing as we're talking about this being near the Milky Way, Matt, do you want to flip over to my screen? I'll show a couple of shots from the Milky Way in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Show people what we've been seeing and what they can see in the coming few weeks as the Milky Way rises.
Okay, so at the moment I'm seeing some
I'll show them the cloud. I'll show them the cloud. So have you got it up, Matt?
Yep, I've got it up. Yep.
Okay, so yes, this is what we're seeing tonight. The red of the top chart is overcast, and the green is clear, and you can clearly see that we're looking at lots of cloud. And the wind has kicked up too, so no good for astronomy tonight. We're not quite up in the territory where Ken would normally be, up at Geraldton, with the wind strength sitting around the 30 kilometre per hour mark there, but still not good for astronomy.
No.
So I've had a few workshops out in the Wheatbelt and Perth Observatory recently. This one shot is from Lake Grace a couple of weeks ago, and you can see the Milky Way rising there. The bright light on the horizon is not the sun, believe it or not. It's actually the moon, which was rising. Yeah, the evil moon. That's right. Lake Grace is an Astrotourism WA affiliated town. And so they have locations where they support people going to do astronomy and astrophotography, and they've got some great spots there. This was at the Salt Lake at Lake Grace, just outside of town, near the cemetery. And there's some good opportunities there, just basically walking distance from the town, very close. But you can see the Milky Way on that eastern horizon there. Obviously getting washed out a little bit by the moon, but that doesn't completely detract from the situation. And Virgo is further to the north, off screen there. It's convenient that Lake Grace actually has some decent accommodation in town. We stayed at the Saltbush Inn, so it's not a bad place to go to do astronomy and astrophotography. Had a couple of workshops up at the observatory as well. This shot is from not last night, the night before, up at the Perth Observatory doing a workshop with a couple of people. Bit of cloud came in. Actually, was it last night that I was there, Matt? I can't even remember.
Yeah,
now.
that would have been. I would have actually been inside the Astrograph dome, which is the dome to the left. So because we had a group from Curtin Uni so we were showing them inside there, and I accidentally left the lights on. So that's where you get the.
You did leave those lights on.
Yes, I do.
It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it does look cool, doesn't it?
We have got a lot of dew, and the nights are getting colder. I don't know, Ken, up your way, do you get much dew in Geraldton? Oh, yeah, it's pretty nuts at the Perth Observatory too, because we're surrounded by state forest. You've got a lot of moisture that comes out and transpires back out of the plants, I suppose. And yeah, you can see on my case there, it's just full of dew. But at that same time, this is one of the shots.
Roger,
Sorry, Matt.
When I woke up in the morning in Durrigan, I woke up to not only the outside of my car windows being completely dewed up, but also I woke up to drips of water falling on my face from my passenger side door, because so inside had also completely dewed up. And so so once we all packed up, because I had the blow-up mattress in the back of my four-wheel drive, and I'd blown it up, and as we were leaving to get breakfast in Jurien Bay, I had this awful issue where I had to have my demister, I think it's called, on for the front, so that I could actually get rid of the dew inside. But I also had to keep on having my windscreen wipers going, because the windscreen was so cold that it would freeze the water that was still there on the outside. So I could barely drive at the very beginning until I actually got some speed up. So yeah,
it is tricky like that sometimes after a night of astronomy. Yep. So definitely a time of year when we've got dew shields on the telescopes and things like that, and ways of drying off the dew on our camera lenses as well. This shot which I've got up at the moment is facing east at the Perth Observatory. So same spot as where I took the other shot, just twisted the camera around, and this is what the workshop participants have been photographing. So this is what we've got coming up at this time of year. It's a good time of year for photographing the Milky Way core rising. That's the central region of our galaxy. It's a good time for the nightscapes, I suppose, because you can put foreground elements with the Milky Way quite nicely. And actually, Matt, you can switch over to Ken's screen if you like. I can see he's got at the moment
I'll just quickly put it to Stellarium just so I can show the people where we're actually looking. So that is looking. This is the sky at the moment, and you can actually see. Here is Antares right here. So when you have a look in the middle of Roger's image, roll the wrong way. You can just see that there is an orange star just to the top left of the central bulge there, and it's like a yellowish orange color with a bit of orange yellowish dust around it, and that is Antares right there. So we're getting to that point in the night where Roger would have taken this photo, because it's quite close. It's still quite close, but essentially you've got the Milky Way from the cross, or the emu in the night sky, from the cross here all the way down through Lupus, through Scorpion into Ophiuchus, and then we've also got Sagittarius coming up right here. So this is where we're looking directly into the center of the galaxy. So, but let me just
so with it rising on the eastern horizon there, you can easily put foreground objects with it, and over the next new moon period, so this next week, and then after full moon, then the next new moon, really good for doing photography like this. And then later in winter, sort of later June, July, good for photographing the Milky Way by itself up above, sort of without the foreground elements.
So we're having a look at
Matt, I saw that Magic Nick is saying that Ken's still very quiet, so I don't know if you want to tweak your settings there at all.
Yeah.
Test 1 2.
Okay. Yep. The bars seem okay. There's not much I can really do on my end here, unfortunately. Sorry, but sorry guys, but we are on Ken's screen here with his image of the lighthouse there.
Maybe Ken, if you want to just, whereabouts is that lighthouse?
So this is on the most westerly point in Geraldton. So this was taken 3 days after Saroja passed, and we had 4 days of absolutely beautiful skies because we had no power, so we had no light pollution, ruining our night sky. There is a little bit of light pollution here, lovely lighting the foreground up and the lighthouse itself. So right behind me was the Sea Rescue. So they were there with a lot of personnel from all over WA. So there was a lot of generators, lots of lights, which was great. So I didn't have to do any light painting to light up my foreground. You can even see down here, there's me standing with my camera and the tripod, which I didn't realize was in the shot until afterwards. But yeah, this is 3 o'clock in the morning with, and this would be impossible normally with the light pollution.
Right.
To get this shot.
So
I quite like the colours you've got there. A little bit of blue in the sky, but not too strong, and the nice contrasting red.
Yeah,
it came out all right.
I'll show you my one that I took from the campsite in Dunderagan. Here you go.
Yeah, so Matt, I've been doing workshops, but you've also been out for Carol at Stargazers Club, haven't you?
Yeah, they got invited along, and I thought, what the hell, let's go. And I drove.
Which town did you go
to? It was. Sorry, I'll quickly just pull up Google and timeline and actually see exactly what campsite I was at. I was about 15 minutes out of Jurien Bay, so I actually drove up a lot further than I actually thought I was. And I've decided that trip definitely meant that my next fall drive will be a diesel. I filled up at the very beginning and drove all the way there, and had to fill up once I got back. But this was a shot. I was actually pretty impressed with this shot because we had a few after the event. So by this stage, I'd had a couple, but I was still sober. And I think I did a really good job of the focus. But I did have a little bit of a buzz at the time. But I got some nice trees here. Got the Milky Way center right here. You can, we've got, I think I've got the Lagoon Nebula in the center, which is that little dark region. So I took the Nikon up there. So thankfully it's tailored to hydrogen alpha, so I get all the hydrogen alpha equipment as nebulas as well. So yeah, I was pretty impressed, and thank you, Roger. Roger helped me out by getting this even better than what I had. So, but yeah, it was really good being able to go. It was the Kada campground was where we went, and it was off Jurien Road. So Jurien Road on Banovich Road, which really wasn't a road; it was more of a gravel path to the campsite. But it was really good. Like they had the DBCA bio toilets, like they have at the Kalbarri Skywalk. Had a massive big load of firewood, which I forgot to take some few pieces home with me. But yeah, it was really good.
Don't do that, Matt.
No, I didn't. So, but no, it was really good. I highly recommend it. I got a good night's sleep as well. I didn't sleep at the back of the car. I had my head to the passenger side seat, so I didn't have the blood rushing to my head. But yeah, it was really good, and highly recommended. And yeah, on the morning back, we enjoyed the sights as we drove down Indian Ocean Drive. So. Yeah, it was a really good night, and it was up there with Riley, who's been on the previous live streams, and Mike Waite as well from Stargazers Club and the Astronomy Group of West Australia. So it was a really good time. Loved it. So we'll go and have a look at
Matt, you were thinking of looking at a couple of other objects, weren't you?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm just showing Ken's shot at the Sydney Memorial, HMAS Sydney Memorial as well. That's looking pretty cool as well. He did a good job there.
For everyone else's benefit, Matt has an advantage over me and Ken. Matt knows what he's showing to you guys, whereas we don't.
Exactly. We're blind.
Actually, hang on. Let me just. I think I can share.
I get like a 1 minute lag on what I'm watching the actual YouTube stream to the left on my iPad, and I get a 1 minute lag on what I look like.
Yeah, everyone gets to see my screen now. Let's have a look.
Actually, I saw in Discord that a few people were asking about Ken's awesome shot of the lighthouse there, and where they can see a full res version and stuff. Ken, do you have a website?
It's not on my website, but if you go look at Ken Lawson Photography on Facebook, there's the image on there.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So let's do. Let's do Messier 100. Who's got that one? I think that's Ken. Ken, did you have that?
100.
Yeah. And while we do that, we can try and. So we've got Rosa H. Hello, how are you going, Rosa? Roz. Smelly Boy as well. Welcome. Smelly Boy says, I could never be an astronomer. I love clouds too much. I'd never be able to muster the hatred that you folks have for them. Well, look, I'm happy for clouds to appear just when we don't have events, and yeah, if they could time them. So, Belly says, Smelly Boy, you would be definitely love the nebulas. Space. I do love space clouds. Yes, I do love. Only you need Earth clouds to get out of the way to see them. So. And it's God Any Soup says, hopefully the clouds will be gone by the time the moon rises. Yeah, and Smelly Boy also.
That's usually what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
The moon rises and we have no clouds.
Yeah.
The moon must be rising pretty darn late if it's rising at all tonight, though. Aren't we pretty near new moon? I haven't looked at the moon right now.
Yes. So we're coming up to Ramadan. So we're getting. I'm getting a lot of. Oh crap! I forgot to text the person, but we are getting a lot of phone calls asking when we can see the moon, so that they can they know when to finish. So if you are observing Ramadan and watching this stream, probably Friday is going to be your best bet to when we can actually see a sliver of the moon. Tomorrow, Thursday night.
Actually.
Thursday night.
I just looked up in in the sky, and the moon is 0.46% illuminated tonight.
Yeah.
Basically not, and
Yeah.
rising at 7 a.m.
Yep. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it. But we've got a lovely shot of the hairdryer nebula here. So it's also located in the Virgo cluster.
Blow dry.
Pardon? Blow dry. Yeah, sorry, blow dryer. Yep.
Blow dry.
Blow dry galaxy.
Which one's called the blow dryer? It's
That's
hard to keep up with these quick.
M100. So
100. Right.
Yeah. Yep. So this is in the Coma Bernice constellation, and it lies about 55 million kilometers from the Earth. So it's got a apparent magnitude of just over 10 as well. So it is a little bit faint. So it seems to be a diameter of about 107 light years, 107,000 light years across. So we're kind of looking at what our galaxy might look like if we were able to see it. So, but it is one of the brightest and largest of the Virgo supercluster. So yeah.
And you can see there's lots of other smudgy blobs of other galaxies in the image as well.
Yeah.
There's a nice edge-on galaxy sitting up there as well.
It's also a starburst galaxy, so there's a lot of strong bursts of star formation concentrated within the ring of the center of the galaxy. So yeah, it's a nice. You got a nice shot there, Ken.
Yeah, I think there were 660 seconds back in 2016 I took this.
Yeah.
On the same equipment.
Yeah. It's got two, you can see the two prominent arms from it. And there's several fainter ones as well. And you can
lots of little faint fuzzy blobs.
Yeah, and you can actually see like the little dotted areas of where you can see the star forming regions and the clusters and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Do you want to go from that to M104?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
No?
Yeah. That's you, is it, Roger?
Yep, I've got
Okay.
M104.
All right. Ooh, that's a very nice one. That's very nice. Yeah.
Is it showing now, Matt? You got to let us know.
Yeah, it is. You're on camera. Yeah, your screen's on camera.
Oh, there you go. An interesting comparison to Ken's. We were talking before about the fast focal ratio Newtonian. And with fast focal ratio comes shorter focal length, so a bigger field of view. So I would guess that, well, I was just looking at my comparison photos, and this is actually a similar size galaxy in terms of apparent view, like what we see of it, how big it appears in our night sky and our telescope and camera. This one appears the same size pretty much as the one Ken was just showing, M100. But what I've got here is an image taken through my 12-inch scope, which in contrast to Ken's, which is a really fast focal ratio, which makes for short exposures and so on. It's an easy combo to have, a nice combo to have. This is 2,180 millimeter focal length, so over 2 meters, and it's f7. So much slower for taking photos, need longer exposure times and better viewing conditions, really, at that focal length. But as a result, you do see it larger. So this is the Sombrero Galaxy, Messier 104. Actually, Matt, you were saying earlier about something, there was a galaxy which you had always thought was one name, and you learned years down the track that it was different. This kind of, which one was that?
So, all right. I'm so getting you back one day for this. Okay, so
look, because I got a story about this.
All right, so for most of my life, I have thought that the Andromeda Galaxy was actually Messier 81, and I think it was when I first joined here that in 2014, I actually got into a not a big argument. Like we agreed to disagree until I actually went online and double checked, and I proved that I was wrong. But I thought Andromeda Galaxy was Messier 81, and no, I was about 50 numbers off. It's actually Messier 31. So yeah,
Oh, good. I was wondering if you were going to get the right number there.
yes,
That's
yes,
good.
yes, Roger. I am human. I am human. Yes. Yeah.
So the thing which I only learnt just the other day, which I'm sure I learnt this before because it seems so darn obvious now, but I always thought Messier, these are M objects, and that's named after Messier, the French astronomer, which was hunting comets, right? So we all knew that. But I didn't realize, or at least I'd forgotten, that he catalogued these not as smudges he thought might be comets, but as smudges he ruled out as being comets.
Yes.
I didn't. So,
Okay.
yeah. So now, yeah. So obviously that makes sense. But to me, all these years I've thought, well, he had a dodgy little telescope back in the day. So how was he to know if these were comets or not? So he was cataloguing smudgy things, but no, he was excluding the things which he knew were not comets. So there you go.
It would actually be great to go back. Unfortunately, I'd have to learn French, but go back and actually tell him this is actually what you were what you were actually looking like the comets that you wanted to find, and the stuff that you didn't want to look at. That was actually more impressive than the comets you were wanting to find. So, yeah. And also to put some perspective on this image. So M100 was 107,000 light years across. The Sambero galaxy is actually 50,000 light years across. So it's just under half the size of M100 as well.
Yeah. So to get a shot like this, you're talking a lot of exposures. I don't remember exactly what exposures I did for this, but they would have probably been 5-minute exposures, and I probably would have had around 100 or maybe more because it's a combination of, it's a mono camera using filters. So I've actually used a clear filter, a red, a green, and a blue, and so I probably would have had about 50 using the clear and maybe about 30 each of using the red and green and blue, and each of those exposures being 5 minutes. So you end up with a fair bit of acquisition time by the time you rule out dead images that, maybe the wind blew the telescope or something like that, you delete those shots, and maybe between different nights. So quite a leap up in complexity from taking Milky Way shots, and not where you want to start your astrophotography, but something to try to get to in the end. Yeah, but I love galaxies, and you look at a galaxy like that, and you see the dust lanes and the areas of brighter patches and so on, and you think about all these stars that are in there, which we're not resolving as pinpoints here. They're just that light, and all the planets that are around those stars, and then the moons that are around those planets, and you think of the amazing diversity of what must be sitting in front of our eyes there. I just find that amazing looking at galaxies.
Yeah. And you can see why it's called the Sombrero Galaxy as well. The fact that we're seeing it slightly almost edge on as well. But it's got an incredibly bright nucleus as well in that center area, the central bulge as well. So actually, I'll show the people where it is actually in the night sky if you want to have a look. It's in between Corvus the Crow and Virgo. So I think it's about 11.5 degrees west of Spica. So Spica is the brightest star in Virgo, and it's just right there. So right, nice in there. There you go.
Actually, Matt, someone, who is it, Belly, has mentioned the Astrophotography Awards. The Astrofest exhibition from 2020 is actually on show at the moment in the Lake Grace Art Space. It's a community art space. It's a building in the centre of town.
Yep.
And it's really well displayed there. the lighting, the natural lighting in there, and they've got proper gallery walls with hanging systems, so it's beautifully displayed. So anyone in the southwest, Great Southern, or travelling through that way, highly recommend over the next few weeks dropping into the art space in Lake Grace to see those shots, because they do look really good there. They're really well lit up, better so than at where we've displayed them at John Curtin Gallery, to be honest.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Hey, actually, some of the shots I saw from that you put up on Facebook, that gallery looked really fantastic. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I can. While you,
Yeah.
if you want to move on to anything else, I'll pull up a shot of it, and then you can switch back over if you
Actually,
like.
well, yeah, we had Roz said I went on the Southern Lights flights, but unfortunately didn't really see it. You had to change seats halfway through the trip, and the lights started to come out, started to go out as after I moved. The photos the others were great. Oh, that is that is very, very sad. All that money, and yeah, but hopefully you were able to have a look at Antarctica down below so you at least got something.
Well, that would be interesting in itself, wouldn't it?
I did, yeah. They were promoting it on TV again. And it was like, yeah, I really want to go, and then I realized I've just now got a mortgage, so yeah, not happening in the next couple of minutes. So maybe I could do a GoFundMe and send Matt to Antarctica. Yeah. We'll do a special live stream freezing our rear ends off. So yeah, but I was just having a look. I didn't realize that halo extends about 10,000 light years beyond the actual spiral structure as well. That is a very bright center. Yeah, and it is also connected to the Virgo cluster as well. So yeah, all right.
So I've just managed to get a couple of shots here, Matt. I'll just paste them here, and you can. Are you still on my screen, maybe?
Yeah, we're seeing your file structures.
Yep. There we go. So that's inside the art space. I was trying to find a shot of the outside of the art space, but I can't, unfortunately, find that right now. But there's a wall of windows behind me which just nicely light up the whole gallery. It's a great community run project by volunteers. So yeah, there's
nice.
Good. Don't know what's happened to the other shot there. Yeah, you did have something there. Yep.
Was that the one that you got all that TV time? Yeah. Yep. No, you deserved that. That was a good shot. So nice. Now, Ken, do you want to show some people how to process some images?
Yeah, so I'll bring up.
There's a nice little shot of Sambero as well.
Yeah, so this actually shot of the Sambero, like Roger was saying, is a shorter focal length, one shot color. And I took this years and years ago. I think this was 2012, and it's probably only about 60 minutes worth of exposures. I can't even remember. But it's a one-shot color, and I think it was maybe with an RC8 8-inch, so Ritchie Criterion telescope with a one-shot color back in the day. So that's almost 10 years old. So we'll go back to something a bit more recent, which will be post-Cyclone event, where we an awesome experience of having 4 nights with no light pollution in Geraldton, and also at the same time it happened to be Milky Way season, which is what we're having now, and no moon.
Yeah.
So it was no clouds, no light pollution, no moon, and it's Milky Way season, so it was really, really everything come together, once in a lifetime experience.
Yep.
So images here I took at the cathedral, so it's a local church here. It's been around for quite some years, and you can see when a car went past, it actually lit it up quite nicely. But I got a whole stack of images so that we can easily stack. But what I'll do when I have these stacks, when I first get back and have a look on the computer, is I just do a quick, dirty little process just to see what the data I'm working with. So I usually just hit auto. I'm doing this in Lightroom. So I usually just hit auto, correct the white balance, find a nice dark spot, so I can just have a quick look and just see what I'm actually working with. So there's quite a bit of noise in there, but these will stack together quite nicely. So I've got a whole bunch of these images. I usually try and take at least 10, ideally a dozen. So then I'll look at the image, go 6579 all the way up to say 6776.
Yeah, the one I took of at Dandaragan, that was 14 shots that I ended up stacking the sequestrator.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Once you, because if you do one image in your process, you just bring out all the noise. So ideally, you want to get a whole bunch of those images, stack them together, increase that signal to noise ratio, and you can bring out more of that lovely awesomeness that is the Milky Way without increasing that noise floor. So we're going to sit at 6579 and we'll go up to 6777. So we need 6759. So a free bit of software that does a nice quick little stack and freezes the foreground. Sequitur, it's called.
Biohazmat. The program that Ken's using at the moment is called Adobe Lightroom. So
so this is Lightroom.
Yep.
Now you don't have to use Lightroom. I'm just viewing these images in Lightroom. And once you've got your images, you can just go and use Sequitur to process them. And then you can use free software to actually, like GIMP, for example, or any of the online software to actually process them.
Or you can
so I'm going to find 6759. Yes, or you can go on the high seas. It's actually not that expensive to get Lightroom and Photoshop
together.
It's only like $13 a month. Yeah.
It's worth it.
The photography, it's definitely worth it. The photography bundle, or you can buy Affinity Photo, which is a really good bit of software that's only a one-off $50 payment, $80 payment, something like that.
Roger,
right, so 6759.
You use Lightroom, don't you?
I do use Lightroom. It's good for quick and easy editing and using presets and so on. Lightroom, Photoshop, PixInsight, Deep Sky Stacker, CCD Stack. There's some names.
Yeah.
Yes, lots of names. So I'm using Sequitur. So I just loaded those few images. It'll load the first image. This is free software. It's actually really smart in what it can actually do, because what you actually do is you tell it where the stars are, and it will freeze the foreground and then stack the stars for you in the one image, and then you have an image ready to go. It'll also even correct your, so these are raw files, so these haven't been processed, these have just been dragged straight into Sequitur, and then it will actually correct for lens distortion. It won't correct the perspective distortion of this building, which is look like it's been squashed up to a point, but it will correct any chromatic aberration and distortion of the stars quite well. And then what we do is we tell it that I want to freeze the ground, and then I literally paint, where the stars are.
Oh, so you actually do the,
and then once
you do right to the edge, do you?
You don't actually have to go right to the edge of where the foreground is.
Because when I had a look, I watched the backyard astrophotographer guy, and he was on YouTube, and he was just painting. He didn't paint the corners. He just painted a part of the sky. Yeah, it was was good being able to see it, and that you didn't have to go right to the edge. You didn't have to go and get in between the trees and all that kind of stuff. It was a nice relief there.
Yeah, it does help if you actually do spend a bit of time and get as close as you can. You don't have to go too crazy, because you'll find if you leave a patch open, it will actually blur those stars.
Yeah.
So the closer you can get, it does help. But it's nice, simple, easy process. You've got a bunch of parameters here you can play with. And then once you're happy with it, you tell it where you actually want to save your image. We'll just stick it there, and we'll just give it a random name. And then you hit start, and it will do its magic. So Deep Sky Stacker is another free software that you can use. You can actually do it in Photoshop.
Yeah. And
That's all really cool.
you might just want to say that again, Ken. You broke up a little bit.
Okay, so you can actually stack these images the hard way in Photoshop. You can also use Deep Sky Stacker, which is another free piece of software that will actually stack images. That's good for doing deep sky images as well.
Yeah, and you can also stack on the use Deep Sky Stacker and Astro Toaster to do live stacking at the same time as. Can't you?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So now that is stacked.
And then,
So if we
for newbies out there, so what happens when you do stacking? You're able to see all the different areas of combined together, so you get more data in the final shot, don't you?
Yeah, so noise is random, and the actual starlight is a constant signal. So what you're doing by stacking the images, because the noise is random, when you stack those images, you're actually cancelling the noise out, and you're actually increasing the signal, which is the stars. That's the detail you actually want to see. So if we look at this raw image, you can see here there's lots and lots of noise. That's all that grey, mossy grain that you would get like back in the film days. It's now digital noise. So you can see if we look in the core here that there's lots of noise. And as soon as we try and process this image, it's going to get worse and worse. But if we have a look now with that stacked image in the same area, you can see it's a lot smoother, and you've got lots of, this is not even processed. This just comes straight out of Sequator. And a prime way to look at it is look at the building. So you can see the building is nice and clean, and there's nothing been done to it. And if you look at this equivalent here, you can see there's a lot of that mottled grey all over the building. So that noise has been cancelled out by stacking those images. That's a nice clean image, and this is not in process. So if we open this image, we'll just do it in Photoshop. Give it a quick little curve, and we'll have a look at the data once it loads. Any questions while it loads?
Let's have a look. I wasn't having it before.
I have to admit that I hadn't actually come across that piece of software until 2 nights ago. Sunday night. I had Carlos up at the observatory, and he was mentioning. I went, "Wow, that sounds really neat," and it is easy to use.
Yeah,
it's very easy
as well. So,
well, it's not actually Google. It's actually a Chinese guy
Oh,
that's actually making it. It's just been hosted on Google.
Oh, okay. I'll put a link.
Yep. So when you go to
I'll copy the link to it. So I'll put it in the chat here for if you want to grab it. And yep, that's the hang on, the new URL. Sorry, let me just delete that one, and I'll get you the new. So that's in the chat down there. And then also, if you want, you can always come back and have a look at this live stream if you want to do the stacking. But also, Astro Backyard has a really good tutorial on how to use it as well. So I've put that in the chat there as well. If you want to download the software Cicada and the little tutorial there if you want to use it. So. But yeah, so I also use Lightroom to do all my editing of my photos as well. So it's definitely worth it. It's a lovely bit of software, and you can actually find presets as well to do all sorts of arty photos as well. So you want all the beautiful photos you see of the observatory have been done using Lightroom. So, and guys, if you have any questions, please ask, and we're more than happy to answer the questions as best we can. But yeah, it's looking really good.
So just really rough and dirty. I'm just going real rough and dirty right now, but just by doing some basic curves from that stacked image, we now have
so using masks
quite a nice.
There, are you?
Yeah, I'm just going to mask in just bring out the brightness of the foreground a little bit. Whoops.
Yep.
Just messed up that little bit. So I'm just doing a quick and dirty. Normally I would actually light paint this a little bit.
Yeah.
To actually, do this properly, but this is just real quick and dirty. And then I'll actually correct the...
So if you have a look here, for people watching this, if you have a look in just above the Donate to Perth Observatory, you'll notice in there's a series of layers there, and they're the masks. And so Ken's just fiddling around with some of those layers to get those images, so he can get the nice imagery there. Nice.
So there we go.
Nice.
So from the original stacked image, just a basic couple of curves and foreground, then you've pretty much got a nice, quick and dirty image.
Yeah, that looks fantastic. I hope you do a really good one and put that into Astrofest. That will be a really nice one for the nightscape side of things. Hint, hint, Roger.
Yeah, well.
Well, I can't put it in now because now everyone sees it and knows that it's me, so it's not anonymous anymore.
No, I will actually correct that misnomer there, because the judges, I'm quite sure that the 3 judges, at least we had this year, probably aren't watching tonight, and so they're not going to even have any idea who that is, and it does not matter if your image has been out there on the web. Really, people seem a bit worried about that, but I don't think it's a problem in the end.
Okay, well, that's all right then.
But yeah, considering that it's also got meaning as well. It's not just a nice little snap. There's literally going to be one time in your life when you've got a cyclone go through, cut the power off. It just happens to be Milky Way season. The wind, a city known for its wind, I think it's called the Windy City, isn't it? Died down.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, there's no cloud. There's a lot of meaning to these photos. So yeah, if you can take
exactly a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Have 4 nights, no clouds, no wind, no moon, Milky Way season, no power. It was just, once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I've often gone outside when there's been a power outage to do astrophotography, and it's just been cloudy because we lose power during a storm in winter. But
correct,
you had the opportunity where that was just not quite the case, and that's so unique.
Yeah.
Very, very unique.
I can certainly tell you, if there was a massive storm go through Perth, cut all the power to Perth, or say we got a cyber attack, I'd be definitely down in South Perth, in the city, and it was Milky Way season, I'd be taking photos. I would go all the way through the night. I would be driving all sorts of places and I could sleep during the day. So
let's be realistic though, Matt. You would actually be forced to be hosting at the observatory.
No, because we have to cancel tours if we don't have any power. So yeah.
Okay. No. Yeah, you get off the hook. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And
before we finish up, Matt, I thought I might mention the late tower inning workshop we've got coming up this weekend. If people do want to do some beginner astrophotography stuff of the Milky Way, I am down at Lake Towerinning near Arthur River with Stargazers Club this Saturday. I'm camping overnight there.
Yes, it's definitely worth. I always say, if you want a really good teacher of astrophotography, go do one of Roger's workshops, even if it's with us or with Stargazers Club or his own workshops, because you'll get a huge amount of knowledge, he's a great teacher and will definitely put you onto a very expensive hobby that you'll love to do. So.
And to be fair though, Matt, can you run workshops up in Geraldton, or what type of things do you do there?
Yep, I do workshops. So if there's a group of people or a bunch of people want to come up and do a workshop, I'll also do one-on-one tuition and any level. So everything from a person with a camera on a tripod all the way up to using telescopes and doing imaging, stacking, the whole lot. Yep.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, it's good fun. Good fun doing this stuff, isn't it? You get a thrill out of sort of introducing people to the hobby and getting more out of it for their time, not wasting their time fishing around useless information.
Exactly. And the first time when someone, finally learns the basic settings and gets a nice Milky Way image on the back of their camera and their eyes pop out of their head, that's priceless.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what else is priceless?
Very good.
You know what else is priceless? Turning around and getting flashed by Roger with his flash. That's yeah. Last time in Geraldton, yep.
Yeah.
Doing some
especially when your eyes are nicely dark adapted.
Yeah.
Just get your light vision destroyed.
That doesn't hurt. No. Yeah.
Not at all.
Twice. He did it to me twice, Ken. Twice he blinded me. Yeah. But also, this is going to happen before our next live event. But we're going to have a total lunar eclipse here in Perth and in Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Islands, Southeast Asia, Japan, across the Bering Straits and Alaska and most of West Coast America and South America. We're all going to get a total lunar eclipse. The time I've got here is West Australian Standard Time. So if you're international, you can just work out how far ahead or behind you are from Perth. But unfortunately for Perth, it's going to actually start before it gets over the horizon. But don't worry, we're not going to miss much. It's all going to be the actual partial phase will happen after the actual moon's above the horizon, and so we'll get to see the most important part. Totality is only 14 minutes this time, so it's not that great, but it's not like the hour that we had back in 2018. But you can see if you want to learn how you can see it, just we've got a blog article on our website, and you can either go to perthobservatory.com.au/blog, and it's the first one there, or you can use this little bit.ly link. But Roger and I will be helping to live stream the eclipse. If you don't live in an area where you'll be able to see it, you could also use this little bit.ly URL, or you can go to the timeanddate.com website and just go under astronomy also and down into live streams, and you can get through there. But yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. We have a lot of fun. We're going to have about 250 people up here on the night, so it's already sold out even a month before the event. So that's hopefully we don't get locked down. But yeah, it's going to be a really good night. It's something you'll be entertained if you're driving home from work or as well. So yeah, definitely go out and see. You don't need any special equipment, just your eyeballs, and definitely show the kids if you've got kids or your niece or nephews. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We've gone about 10 minutes over, but thank you, Ken. Thank you, Roger, for joining tonight. And we'll have you both back on again soon, very soon.
Oh, really? You're going to get us back again? Wow.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
man.
Well, hang on. You did promise me that you'd be on next time. So yeah, the next 3 you should be able to do. So that's.
Can we put our order in? Can we put our order in for no clouds and no moon this time?
Yeah. Well, we've got the 4th of June and then the 16th of June are the next 2 upcoming. So yeah, if you want, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join us as well.
Yep, if I've got clear skies, I'll definitely jump on and do some lives.
Awesome. All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Roger. Thanks, Ken. And thanks you for joining us tonight. And we'll see you on the 4th of June. And if you liked what you saw, or even if you thought it was okay, hopefully you'll give us a like, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel as well. And if you think we're worthy, you can donate to our Patreon accounts, and hopefully we can improve these live streams as well. So thanks very much, guys, again for joining, and we'll see you later.